Welcome back to the last segment of this week's wonderful show, Dialog Houston. Thank you for being with us throughout the evening. As I promised you in the beginning of the hour, we're going to be looking at now and focusing our attention on international business development with a very special group of individuals who have come together in a collaboration and a partnership to help us understand the growth potential for international business, particularly in the wonderful country of Colombia. There's also a connection here with HCC TV that we're going to talk about. And to help us understand how all this comes together and works are our good friends and this week's guests, Claudia Rojas, who's the president of the Columbia Chamber of Commerce of Texas, and joining her are Jose Velasco, who is the head of procurement and logistics for a wonderful company. I'm going to let him tell you because they're getting ready to do some big business. $1 billion, a lot of money you're going to be talking about. And Nia Igambe, who is with the U.S. Department of Commerce, and how all this comes together is going to be a great story to tell, and I can't wait to have them share it with us. Welcome to everyone.
Thank you so much,
Well, Claudia,
Larry.
tell us how all this came together and how it started and began.
Yes, as you mentioned, the Columbia, Texas Chamber of Commerce started a year ago, and our main objective is to promote trade between Colombia and Texas. We especially help the U.S. companies that want to do business in Colombia, and we also help the Colombian companies that are moving to Texas looking for opportunities. One of our very special mission also is to tell everybody here about the wonderful opportunities and the transformation that the country of Colombia is going through right now, and what that represents to the U.S. companies as business opportunities. But another aspect of what we do is we want to help the companies here that are already established, or the individuals that want to start a business in Colombia, to learn how to do it and to save them time and money by not making mistakes, but doing it in the right way. And for that, we are partnering with the Consulate of Colombia, with Ecopetrol, with the U.S. Commercial Service, and of course with the Houston Community College. So we're talking about a program that has 3 modules. One is how to start your business in the U.S., and that class is given in Spanish. Then we have another program that is how to grow your business in the U.S., and the third one is in English, and it's for U.S. companies that want to start their business in Colombia. So we teach them about the very particular things that they need to know, and they better know firsthand, so when they go to Colombia they start with the right foot. And in that way they save time and money, and they have a better rate of success in Colombia.
And you're joined by your corporate partner, who's going to help co-sponsor tell us and introduce our good friend Jose.
Exactly. Jose represents Ecopetrol. Ecopetrol is the most important oil and gas company in Colombia, and they have been fantastic with us in this project. We're coming together as long as with the Consulate of Colombia. And Jose,
so tell us about your role in all of this, Jose. It's so great to have you be part of this coalition. Go ahead.
Thank you, Larry. Yes, Ecopetrol America was created by Ecopetrol SA from Colombia as part of its growing strategy to become a 1 million barrel per day company.
1 billion a day.
1 million a day.
Million a day.
Yeah,
okay.
Clean barrels. It's with no accidents, no environmental impact, in harmony with the communities that surround us. So Ecopetrol usually likes to help and promote the communities where we are located. And that's why we are joining this program to help Colombian or Latin American people that are here how to succeed, and also companies interested to do business in Colombia to go there with technology and engineers or qualified people that will help us achieve our goals in Colombia.
And Colombia is really going through a great economic development, a growth spurt, is it not? It really
yes,
is.
yes. There are big projects. Ecopetrol, with this big growing plan, has a lot of projects in many parts of the country, and also the other operators are investing a lot just to achieve their own goals. The country as a whole has a big goal, around 1.7 million barrels per day. Ecopetrol will become 1.3 million barrels per day in 2020.
Not
so
too far away.
it's a big activity.
Right. And now that your company is independently controlled, not government, it has a great chance now to do things much differently. It's a different impact, is it not?
Yes, yes. It has been like the trigger for all the changes we are having right now. When we became financially independent, the company was allowed to have its own strategic growing plan, and that's when we set up the 1 million barrel per day. And we are only grown as one company. We are now a group of companies. We have bought and created companies in Colombia, and we have gone to some other countries like Brazil, Peru, and here in the U.S.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Ecopetrol America has the goal to invest in exploration and production Gulf of Mexico, U.S. waters. Right now, we have participation in more than 130 different blocks in Gulf of Mexico, U.S. waters.
And to have our own wonderful Department of Commerce, the U.S. Department of Commerce, involved in the ground floor of all of this and giving aid, support, and nurturing and quantity expertise, it's really great to be part of this from the ground up, is it not?
Thank you, Larry, for being here. Yeah, we're super excited to be working with our Columbia, Texas Chamber of Commerce partner on this joint venture with HCC. At the commercial service, we are mandated by Congress to work with small and medium-sized companies, and part of that is educating them about opportunities in global markets. And this comes at a very timely manner as we're celebrating the year anniversary of the U.S.-Colombia Free Trade Agreement. So we feel like there's great opportunities for both small and medium-sized companies to do business in Colombia.
And having run as a district director of 2 congressional offices here in Houston in the past, I'm very familiar with the work that your department does. In fact, you're holding a book that I remember seeing the early version of years ago. So obviously this is one to tell us about, because it's a very important little booklet.
Great. This book that just recently made it to my office is a book about the 20 free trade agreements that the U.S. has, including the one we have with
20
Colombia.
ways to grow your business.
20 ways to grow your business, and companies can contact our office here in Houston or go on our website, export.gov, and request their copy. But it gives profiles of those markets where we have free trade agreements, as well as the opportunities and the resources available for U.S. exporters to do business.
And what people don't realize is that when you look into it and dive into it, you can see there are many more opportunities most of the time than most people think and realize.
Absolutely. You know, there's over 90% of consumers are outside the U.S. And so we know that when companies export, they create jobs, they create better paying jobs, and they are able to expand the U.S. technologies around the globe.
Claudia, let me turn to you again. This whole idea of creating a Chamber of Commerce, Columbia, Texas Chamber of Commerce, it really speaks to the vitality of the marketplace, not only here in Houston and Texas, but in Columbia, to forge that relationship. Have you found it to be very receptive of the businesses here in the area to really want to take advantage of this wonderful opportunity?
Absolutely. With the free trade agreement that Naya was mentioning, it benefits most of all the U.S. companies that want to export their products or their services to Colombia. Before the free trade agreement, Colombia already had benefits for their products. So 80% of the Colombian products already had benefits coming to the market here in the U.S. But with the free trade agreement, U.S. Products are now competitive going into Colombia. And Colombia is a very interesting market. It's 48 million people. A country that is growing. People have more money to spend, want better things, better products. It's a very U.S. friendly country. We admire the whatever is made in the U.S. So it's a friendly environment for U.S. products. But I wanted to mention also about the development of the government. It has a very well structured plan for the development, and all the royalties that we're getting from becoming an oil and gas producer country that we were not a few years ago. It needs to be invested in the country and in the communities. So right now there's a lot of money in Colombia due to these royalties for projects that improve the life of the people, and those represent opportunities for the Colombian companies and for the U.S. companies. So please, you're welcome to come to the chamber if you would like more information. And I don't want to leave the segment without reminding everybody that this class that we're talking about, it starts on July 10th. It's gonna be taking place at the
information is on the screen now. Go ahead.
Okay, at the campus of the Houston Community College in the 610 and 59, the Pinot campus. So we hope to see a lot of people there, and we are very willing to help all the entrepreneurs that want to do business in Colombia as well.
And that's great. Let me turn to Jose, and then I'm going to give Nina a chance to say. With the oil and gas, and with this being Houston and the oil and gas corporations and companies here, how is your company engaging and interacting, interfacing with that? I'm sure there's some great connections already being made.
Yes, yes. Ecopetrol has been in business for many, many years. So we already had relations with many U.S. manufacturers related to the oil and gas industry. Basically, 60 to 70% of our international vendors are U.S. companies. That's why we also have a buy and sell operation here to have a better commercial position to buy equipment and materials needed for operation in Colombia.
So it's a very fluid market. I mean, there's many opportunities and great opportunities. It just have to, but people have to avail themselves and of the opportunities. Just because they're there, you have to go and seek them, and they're not going to come to you. You have to go to them. And I guess you see this in the development that y'all do. People want to they want to get involved, but to really do it right and go through all the steps, that's why I love the program that Claudia talked about. It tells you step by step how to do it, how to take advantage of the opportunity.
Absolutely, and Houston being such an international community, have so many resources, both state, local, and federal, and then we have great partners like the Columbia, Texas Chamber of Commerce and HCC that are also doing their part to educate companies step by step on how to do business, from their business plan to getting the financing to understanding the free trade agreement and what documentation is required, as well as the actual shipment and logistics of moving those products. So this is a very, and we've also worked with Ecopetrol in the past to connect U.S. suppliers to this great company that has many opportunities in the oil and gas sector.
And you do your training and workshops. Not only do people can come to your location, you bring it to the organizations.
Absolutely, and we have continuous webinars, trade events, trade shows, and we have trade missions going to Colombia almost quarterly. So lots of opportunities to connect.
Claudia, what is in the last minute we have, what do you really want our viewing audience to know about this program, this great opportunity?
Well, first of all, that we would like to help not only the individuals that are just starting, we want to help also the companies that are already established to grow, and we want them to think globally and to look especially into Colombia and to the businesses that they can generate for themselves.
All right, we're going to have to end this segment, and we'll follow the work and progression of this wonderful class and courses and involvement. I want to thank you all for being on this week's segment of Dialog Houston.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Before we
Larry.
close out and go, I want to just mention one thing coming up in June 29th. Our good friend Trinell Thomas is having a book launch event that's going to be a community event. It's going to be music, art, poetry, and everything in the book. But important that we want to get this whole group of people together. It will take place at the Julius Iverson building of the Houston Public Library at 500 McKinney, June 29th from 2 to 4 p.m. We look forward to seeing many of you who view this show on a continuous, regular basis to interact and interchange with you personally. I think it'll be a fun afternoon to really get the broad spectrum of the community together, as we always try to do. It is important that we continue this dialogue as we go forward on Dialog Houston and throughout this community. Dr. Kleinberg will be on the show in a few weeks to come, and we'll engage with him. But until always, we look forward to you joining us. And until that time again, we look forward to seeing you on future segments of Dialog Houston. Till then, peace, power, and love.